We're really getting into some cool things now. We're going to talk about tests that you need to avoid illness. In other words, when to get the right tests, what tests to use, when to use them, and where to find them, and also the kind of tests that allows you to get to the next level of optimization. We refer to it when we're building your lifestyle and determining, how to create the right system for you. Testing really helps you. Remember on our awesome pyramid way back in the earlier lessons, it was air, water, exercise, sunlight, optimizers, mental beliefs and attitude, education, testing, and coaching. Testing can really make the difference. So what's become really popular right now? So let's start with some basic tests. A basic test would be a body fat scan. This is a great one, body fat test. So there's one test that's used a lot, which is called the BMI, which is just dealing with your height and your weight. I'm not a big fan of this one. The reason being because if you carry a lot of muscle mass, or you have, really dense bones, or you have, bones that aren't very dense, you kind of get classified into areas that this isn't as accurate. But it's a start, right? Then you can go into calipers. Okay. Ideally, this is performed by a professional. You can have your little calipers that keeps you kind of honest as you go along, but get this done regularly. Most gyms offer that. I got calipers kind of messed up here in the center, so let me fix that for you. Calipers with an R. Okay, so that's one other way. You can also go to what I think is the granddaddy of all of these, which is the Dexa Scan. The Dexa Scan is what the NFL uses. Okay, you can look up Dexa Scan in your local city, and basically this will tell you your body fat percentage. It'll tell your muscle mass and lean body mass. That's what you'll see this term a lot. This is a very big indicator of longevity and health and vitality. Okay, lean body mass. It'll also test bone density. This is huge. So, particularly to, I have a really good friend, and he works out a lot. He's very successful, but his family, genetically, they have a hard time with maintaining bone density. So he's learned that at an early age, and he's now doing things to offset that so he doesn't run into trouble 40, 50 years down the road. He's going to be able to manage that because he knows what's going on before, it's a problem. Another thing that you can look at that I like, you can go to max VO2. Okay, this is how much oxygen. So sometimes you'll see on the TV those guys with the mask running. There's also most gyms, good gyms will have those, where you can run that. Usually you have to go to a university to get the big max VO2, but they can also use a formula. And this will tell you, what's your lung capacity. This is a great one. And that kind of, especially if you're into, if you're into in the endurance sports, these type of things, this is a very important test for you on the physical side. But then you want to go into kind of like the next level of testing. Obviously, a regular blood test with your MD, that's a good one. You can also do what's called a live blood cell test. Live blood cell test. This one is oftentimes performed by an ND. It's not available in all states, but basically what happens is you put your blood live. They put this right under a microscope. They just prick that, put it under the microscope, and they can see all kinds of things that's going on in your blood. They can see if you have your blood cells sticking together into row low. They can see if you're getting oxygen. They can look at oxidative damage to see how much damage is coming into your body. You can see crystallization if you have too acidic of a diet. All kinds of things, fungus. They can see if there's bacteria in your blood. And what's really neat is people that go through our program, I often encourage them to get a live blood cell test early on, because what happens, 30, 60, and then 90 days, if you do one right at day one, do the Dexa scan, do this one, and then come back at 90 days and do another test, wow, you can actually see under the microscope some really impressive things. And go to our website, we can show you some pictures of it. It's phenomenal. Now what's also happening is you're looking at genetic testing. So genetic testing, this is neat. You just swab your, put a little swab in here, send it off to a lab, and you can find out, number one, it's kind of cool because you can kind of find out your like genetic history, like who was your great-great-grandfather and all that stuff. But it'll also give you indicators of diseases that are more likely for you. So that means that you can adjust your dietary strategy to offset the chance of these. You can also choose foods or choose nutrients to supplement your diet that will assist you in avoiding those type of situations. And also tell you things like methylation cycles. You can learn about, how your body metabolizes different foods. This is really, 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 really state-of-the-art stuff. It's coming along, and I think it's only going to get better. Another thing that you can test is I like chiropractic. So you can do what's called spinal testing. So they'll take either they'll do an X-ray. Some guys will just line you up with a plumb line, and they'll look at your body and they'll see what's off, and they'll start doing adjustments so that your spine, you want to have it that nice perfect S curve like this. Here's all your vertebrae, right? You want to have this in perfect alignment. You don't want too far forward. You don't want this way. And oftentimes they'll work in conjunction with a deep tissue muscle person to unlock the tissue. We'll talk more about that in a little bit later. These are some great tests that you can get started on, that will get you kind of underway, kind of getting the whole thing. The other thing is you can do all kinds of strength tests. These are some of the more common ones. So, for example, if you go to a gym, oftentimes they'll test strength, flexibility. These are other indicators for staying strong for a long period of time. And VO2 with a body fat. These are the kind of performance-based ones. These ones here get into long-term care, genetic, and seeing what your predisposition and making sure that your spine is in a good spot and that everything's lined up, because this is going to control electrical flow. And these type of tests will kind of show a little bit. These ones here and here are going to show chemistry, and these are going to show performance. So what you have is you have tests that measure all of these models. Now, depending on who and where you're at in your life, obviously, if you're in more the athletic side, these are going to be very, very paramount. If you're looking for a longevity or health side, maybe you're a little older, you might be looking more along these lines, the genetic testing and the blood cell analysis. Oh, which I almost forgot, hormone testing. This is a big one. So you can do hormone testing both with blood and a urine test, kind of like they do for doping. Back when I was competing, I was subjected to all kinds of, urinalysis. And basically they can test what your hormone levels, estrogen to testosterone ratio, progesterone to estrogen, luteinizing hormone, testosterone to epitestosterone. And you want to have someone that can interpret this for you. And this way, as you go through your program and as you adjust your diet or your nutrition program, if you will, your lifestyle related program, you're going to be able to use these tests as benchmarks. So, myself, Dave, and Matt, we all do this. All of our top clients, we do this. And if you're really wondering on which test's right for you, or you're looking for a place, almost forgot another one. God, there's so many cool tests. Hair analysis. I mentioned this earlier, but I forgot, I didn't put it down. This one is a great one for heavy metals. So we hear about heavy metals, mercury, toxicity, and these type of things that are coming out from modern chemical infusions. Hair analysis is a great one for testing out chemicals that may be present inside your body, or particularly heavy metals, and ways to get those out. So these are some basic tests. There's lots more out there. We will be talking more about it, and we'll be interviewing some testing people. And of course, for some people, this is really out there and new. I would encourage you to go to our website and say, hey, yeah, I'd like to get part of your testing team. We do have some specialized practitioners here with BiOptimizers that are doing specific tests. It's hard to get in. These people are professionals and they're being consulted around the world. But if you send us an email and connect with us and let us know that you want to get one, we'll hook you up with one of our BiOptimizer testers to get you, number one, to help you select the right test for you, and number two, to make sure that you get the results that you're looking for. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you start to realize that there's a lot of options for you. And, you know, every so often you pick what your budget is, spend a little bit of money on these tests. They can really keep you accountable, and they really become very motivating, because if you do a test and you're trying something and you find out it's not working, now you can say, okay, great, let's change this, and very soon, before you know it, you're going to be optimally selecting both your nutrition program, your lifestyle program, and the tests that need you to keep you healthy and happy and performing at a high level for the rest of your days. And that's the goal here. So I hope you enjoyed this. Send your questions and emails to our website, and we look forward to seeing you on the next lesson.